On behalf of the faculty of the Division of the Humanities, I am honored to welcome the family and friends of our graduates to the University of Chicago and to extend warm congratulations and commendations to you, the exceptional scholars who will be recognized this afternoon. Your professors, families, and friends, those who have supported you through your studies, are all proud of your achievements and of the distinction you have now attained. We know that you will venture forth from Chicago to become leaders, innovators, and persons of merit and accomplishment throughout the world, and that you will bring to your communities the benefits of an enriched and critical mind. The value of the enriched and critical mind is the subject of much debate in and beyond the humanities. Especially at this time in our complex world, many question the practical utility of the humanistic enterprise, the study of human culture through history, literature, ancient and modern languages, philosophy, art, and music, and are skeptical of the investment such an education requires. But the cost to society of not engaging in the renewal of human knowledge is too great to contemplate. Those who engage in research, teaching, and the renewal of knowledge, those who cultivate a deep level of self-examination and constancy of purpose, will contribute to and help ensure a strong, self-governing nation. Robert Maynard Hutchins, the 5th president of the University of Chicago, wrote in the International Journal of Ethics in 1934, "A university should be a center of rational thought. Certainly, it is more than a storehouse of rapidly aging facts. It should be a stronghold of those who insist on the exercise of reason. Its object is always understanding. Rational thought is the only basis of education and research. It has been responsible for our scientific successes. Its absence has been responsible for our bewilderment. A university is the place of all places to grapple with those fundamental principles which rational thought seeks to establish." So too, Winston Churchill at a Convocation address in 1943 said, "The empires of the future are the empires of the mind." We of the university community must not allow that future empire to be an impoverished one. The story behind the University of Chicago's motto is not one that many of us think about, and I'd like to take a minute to impart one more lesson to you. The motto, Crescat Scientia, Vita Excolatur, is translated with a bit of grammatical license, "Let knowledge grow from more to more, and so be human life enriched." This motto is not a direct quote from a venerable Latin source, but was constructed, fabricated, by Professor Paul Shorey, a classicist here at the University of Chicago, who was born in 1857 and died in 1934. For the first part of the motto, Shorey liked the resonance of a phrase in the meditation composed by Alfred Lord Tennyson as a requiem for his friend Arthur Henry Hallam, published in 1849 as In Memoriam A.H.H., a meditation on the search for hope after great loss. The poem includes some of the most often quoted lines in literature. "'Tis better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all," from Canto 27. "Nature red in tooth and claw," from Canto 56. And the following in the prologue. "We have but faith, we cannot know, for knowledge is of things we see, and yet we trust it comes from thee, a beam in darkness, let it grow. Let knowledge grow from more to more, but more of reverence in us dwell, that mind and soul, according well, may make one music as before." Shorey translated Tennyson's "Let knowledge grow from more to more" into Latin as Crescat Scientia. He then took a passage from the 6th book of Virgil's Aeneid, in which Aeneas is watching those happy souls in the sweet fields of Elysium, among whom are those who were faithful poets, singers worthy of Apollo, and those who improved life with discoveries in art or science, and those who by merit caused others to remember them. For the second half of the motto, then, Shorey used the phrase, those who improved life, with appropriate grammatical adjustments. He then added the connector, and so, to link the two phrases, yielding, let knowledge grow from more to more, and so be human life enriched. There are many lessons to be taken from this story of the university's motto. Among them is one that I stress today, that as you depart these halls to assume the reins of leadership in academia, business, government, and society, you will be called upon to propose solutions for global problems. You will be asked to respond swiftly and decisively in an ever-expanding complex world. You will be challenged to innovate and to evaluate. As you do so, your actions, your deeds, and your ethical positions will be informed by the values and lessons imparted by your communities and your university. Like Paul Shorey, use what you have learned at the University of Chicago. Change it, adapt it, translate it, connect the various insights, and make them something new, your own, and worthy. May every one of you use to your best advantage what you have learned. May you make a difference in the challenging world you inherit, and may your lives reflect honor back to your families, your communities, and to the University of Chicago. Congratulations. As we celebrate the accomplishments of those who are graduating, we also celebrate members of our community for their accomplishments in teaching, mentoring, and scholarship. I have the honor of conferring the Dean's Distinguished Dissertation Award. This award acknowledges the outstanding scholarly contributions of a dissertation completed in the Division of the Humanities. The 2017 award goes to Dhananjay Jagannathan, who earned his doctoral degree in the Department of Philosophy this past winter for his dissertation, The Labors of Wisdom. Dhananjay is currently teaching at Dartmouth College, and this fall will begin a tenure-track position in the Department of Philosophy at Columbia University. Dhananjay is in attendance today. Please join me in congratulating Dhananjay's achievements. Now we honor members of our community from across the many divisions and schools who dedicate themselves to teaching and mentoring excellence. Before we begin with today's awards, we want to acknowledge two members of the Division of the Humanities who will receive awards at tomorrow's university ceremony. Maeve Hooper, a PhD candidate in the Department of Germanic Studies, will be awarded the Wayne C. Booth Graduate Student Prize for Excellence in Teaching. And Agnes Callard, Assistant Professor in the Department of Philosophy, will receive a Llewellyn John and Harriet Manchester Quantrell Award for Excellence in Undergraduate Teaching. Please join me in congratulating Maeve and Agnes. Next, I have the honor of conferring the Janelle M. Mueller Award for Excellence in Pedagogy, named in honor of former Dean and Professor Emerita Janelle Mueller. This award recognizes the contributions of lecturers and senior lecturers within the Division of the Humanities. Presenting the honoree is Michelle Lowry, Deputy Dean, and the Andrew W. Mellon Professor in the Departments of Classics and the College.
Benjamin Callard, lecturer in the Department of Philosophy, has been an outstanding and popular teacher at the University of Chicago since his arrival from the University of California, Berkeley, where he received his doctorate in 2007. Using his knowledge and deep interest in nearly every area of philosophy, he has taught many of the larger introductory courses offered by the department. He has built a reputation for pedagogical excellence and mentorship that each year draws more students to our philosophy courses and the philosophy major. Benjamin's colleagues and students both comment on how he makes a sympathetic case for all sides of a philosophical argument in class discussion and encourages his students to engage in debate. Dean Robertson, I have the honor to present Benjamin Callard for the Janelle M. Mueller Award for Excellence in Pedagogy.
An instructor of tremendous talent, Benjamin Callard uses encouragement and intellectual rigor to cultivate in his students a lifelong interest in philosophy. I now have the honor to bestow 2 additional university-wide teaching awards, these ones for excellence in graduate teaching and mentoring. Presenting the first of this year's recipients is Jennifer Wild, Associate Professor in the Departments of Romance Languages and Literatures and Cinema and Media Studies and the College.
An exemplary teacher, reader, mentor, advisor, and role model, Allison James creates an environment that is at once demanding and nurturing, providing each student with the confidence and intellectual tools to produce her or his best work. She exhibits a fundamental respect for her students as young scholars and as human beings, and her support of their progress far exceeds the context of the classroom and embraces all students who seek her guidance. The remarkable number of variety of activities that she has organized in connection to contemporary literature and cultural have allowed her students to interact with some of the most prominent scholars, authors, directors, and playwrights of today. A faculty member who inspires with her formidable intellect and her human kindness, Allison James is a remarkable scholar and indeed person. Dean Robertson, I have the honor to present Allison James for the Faculty Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching and Mentoring.
An outstanding scholar who combines intellectual rigor with understanding, Allison James cultivates an academic environment founded on principles of mutual respect in which each of her students is able to attain her or his fullest potential. Presenting the second recipient of this honor is Frances Ferguson, the Ann L. and Lawrence B. Buttonweiser Professor and Chair in the Departments of English, Language, and Literature and the College.
Julie Orlemansky has quickly become an inspiration to her students in the brief time she's taught at the University of Chicago. Drawing students from a variety of departments to her courses, she's confronted sometimes arcane medieval materials with modern questions, and in the process demonstrated their continuing importance. Actively engaged with the Medieval Studies workshop, she's offered trenchant commentaries on work in progress. In addition to modeling the importance of active critical exchange in the workshop, she's been an exemplary advisor to graduate students at all levels. Offering detailed critiques and penetrating analysis to her advisees, she enables them to grasp the urgency and importance of their projects and to explain the relevance of their work to modern audiences. Dean Robertson, I have the honor to present Julie Orlemansky for the Faculty Award for Excellence in Graduate Teaching and Mentoring.
In all facets of her work as a faculty member, Julie Orlemansky is an energizing presence whose teaching demonstrates the continuing vibrancy of the field of medieval studies. She draws students from a variety of departments to courses in which she confronts medieval materials with modern questions and inspires her students to develop their own active interpretive engagements. At the university-wide ceremony tomorrow, I will ask our candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, and Doctor of Philosophy to stand, and in the presence of the faculty of the university and members of the Board of Trustees, President Zimmer will formally confer those degrees in recognition of the academic achievement of our students. Prior to the formal university's conferral of degrees tomorrow, it is my honor to recognize each individual student for their accomplishment in completing their program of study.
Dean Robinson, as Dean of Students for the Division of the Humanities, I now have the honor to present these students who have successfully completed a program of advanced study in the humanities, culminating in the degree of Master of Arts. Alexander Samson Abital. William Hidenori Adamovich. Firas Abrahim Al-Khutib. Timothy Anderson. Christina Laura Arufo. Eric David Berg. Grace Ann Bickers. Jennifer Romlin Brace. Terrence Brosnan. Lee Michael Cannon Brown. Christine Case. Si Chen. Martha Jean Roberti Kleiss. Marielle Colbert. Celeste Aida Cruz Carandang. Isabeau Valerie Dasho. Franklin E. Dees II. Alison Delotto. Yishu Deng. Barbara Elizabeth Dietlinger. Philip Gaetano Dinolfo. Caitlin Marie Dominski. Rachel Chi Rachel Du. Lauren Elizabeth Eames. Madison Elizabeth Edwards. Sonia Claire Feldman. Maggie Kathleen Flavin. Charlene Fournier Petit. Shiyuan Gao. Kristen Ash Keegan. Sophia Chanpeng Wayang Goldberg. Nicholas David Graflin. Molly Catherine Green. Amanda Jane Griffiths. Alexandra Lynn Gunnels. Julian Holler. Nicholas Alexander Harris. Jennifer Marie Heine. Nicole Marie Housekeeper. Jennifer Ann Halos. Niling Jian, Gayes J, Elizabeth Theresa Jonas, Jui Kim, Gwendolyn Christie, Chukse Lam, Heywan Lee, Gabriel Gary Levine, Li Chao Li, Ailsa Joyce Clement Lipscomb, Morgan Lott, Christina Luke, Rubing Ma, Kimberly Marquette Mayer, Rachel Carolyn Miller, Miles Athol Morgan, Adrian Lynn Moss, Kelly Elizabeth Murphy, Richard Nijat Hyam, Nigel John Ahern, Anna Orton Hatsis, Maria Carmen Padilla, Catherine Lucia Pence, Mary Pickard Reisman, Natasha Das Rusi, Marguerite Luella Sandholm, Ryan Henry Schnell, Tariq Hakim Shagosh, Charlotte Ray Smart, Nathan Lewis Smith, Gwendolyn Hillary Spielman, Clancy S. Taylor, Theresa Marie Tiliakos, Wang Grau, Wei-Ji-R Wang, Yi Shi-wei, Andrew Bennett Wickersham, Ellen Margaret Weezy, Victoria Ann Wilson, Kala Ann Winchell, John Garland Wynn, Andrew Michael Wright, Machen Schoen, Si Jiao Yi, Yi Jiang, Yi Xinjiang, Jin Jin Jiao, I now welcome Jessica Stockholder, the Raymond W. and Martha Hilpert Gruner Distinguished Service Professor in the Department of Visual Arts, to present the Master of Fine Arts graduates.
Dean Robertson, as chair of the Department of Visual Arts, I now have the honor to present these students who have successfully completed a program of advanced study in the visual arts, culminating in the degree of Master of Fine Arts.
Alexandra Elizabeth Allen Cannon. Vidura Jang Bahadur. Andrew Bernal. Jen Nicole Brugger. Evan Chandler Carter. Kyle Warren Hosley. Benjamin Ross Nicholson. Shanna Sempner.
What a wonderful performance by our organist, Thomas Weisflog. The components... The components of our academic regalia derived from medieval clerical dress are the gown, the cap, and for those attaining the highest competencies, the hood. Today, those scholars who are being admitted to the community of doctors of philosophy will receive a hood for their disciplinary achievement. The velvet edge of the hood is dark blue, representing the broad fields of philosophy and humanistic studies. The lining is maroon, the color of the University of Chicago. In our ceremony, the hood will be placed over the head of each candidate by his or her dissertation advisor or department chair, and assisted by Patrick Jagoda, Associate Professor in the Department of English Language and Literature.
As Dean of Students for the Division of the Humanities, I now have the honor to present for the Hood these students who have attained scholarly distinction and have prepared a dissertation that contributes to knowledge in a particular field of research in the humanities, culminating in a degree of Doctor of Philosophy. Natasha Dean Ayers, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations, degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Cultural Change in Upper Egypt from the Late Middle Kingdom through the Second Intermediate Period. A new analysis of ceramic material. Committee, Nadine Mueller, Chair, Janet Johnson, Carla Gagliarini. Tristan Heather Bates, Department of Comparative Literature. Degree conferred winter quarter 2017. Dissertation, Spatializing the Neoliberal Turn, Turkish Novels of the Long 1980s. Committee, Larry Rothfield, Chair, Sonali Takar, Nurgis Erturk. Chelsea Rebecca Burns, Department of Music, degree conferred summer quarter 2016. Dissertation, Listening for Modern Latin Music, Identity and Representation in Concert Music, 1920s to 1940s. Committee, Stephen Winks, Chair, Lauren Zibikowski, Alejandra Luis Blanco Gonzalez, Robert Kendrick. Emily Capper, Department of Cinema and Media Studies and Art History, degree conferred summer quarter 2016. Dissertation, Alan Kaproff and the Dialectics of Instruction, 1947-1968. Committee, Christine Mering, Chair, Jennifer Wild, Matthew Jesse Jackson. Jennifer Rose Cohen, Department of Art History, degree conferred winter quarter 2017. Dissertation, Surrealism and the Art of Consumption. Committee, Christine Mering, Chair, Ralph Ubel, Molly Warnock, Jennifer Wild. Michael Thomas Dango, Department of English Language and Literature, degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Contemporary Styles, a Taxonomy of Novel Actions. Committee, Lauren Belland, Chair, Deborah Nelson, Francis Ferguson. Suleiman Dost, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations, degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, An Arabian Quran, Towards a Theory of Peninsular Origins. Committee, Fred Donner, Chair, Michael Sells, Rebecca Hasselbach-Andy. Erin Hillary Apperson, Department of South Asian Languages and Civilizations, degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Kalidasa in Tibet, Messenger Poetry in Translation. Committee, Wendy Doniger, Chair, Christian Wiedemeyer, Matthew Kapstein. Monica M. Felix, Department of Comparative Literature, degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Aesthetic Deception and Topoi of Memory in the Romantic Imagination. Committee, Robert Burt, Chair, Hans Saucy, Boris Maslov. Michael Timothy Fisher, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, the late Chalcolithic I period in northern Mesopotamia. Tel Zaydan, Syria in regional context. Committee, Gil Stein, Chair, McGuire Gibson, York Rowan. Dhananjay Jagannathan, Department of Philosophy. Degree conferred winter quarter 2017. Dissertation, The Labors of Wisdom. Committee, Martha Nussbaum, Chair, Gabriel Lear, Richard Kraut. Amin Lelich, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Ottoman Physiognomy, Ilmi Firasat, A Window into the Soul of an Empire. Committee, Cornel Fleischer, Chair, Shahzad Bashir, Hakan Karateki, Franklin Lewis. Negera Calisto Lorenz, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Degree conferred winter quarter 2017. Dissertation, The Role of Male Royal Offspring in the 18th Dynasty, Egypt. Committee, Janet Johnson, Chair, Robert Rittner, Nadine Mueller, and Catherine Roerich. Adira Mangalagari, Department of Comparative Literature. Degree expected summer quarter 2017. Dissertation, At the Limits of Comparison, Literary Encounters between China and India in the Colonial World. Committee, Hans Sossi, Chair, Ulrike Stark, Paola Iavini. Margaret McPhee, Department of Comparative Literature. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Aspirational Nations, Language, Intimacy, and 20th Century Caribbean Culture. Committee, Danielle Desormeaux. Chair, Christopher Taylor, Françoise Meltzer. Julia Elizabeth Nevin, Department of Classics. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, The Body Politic and Roman Political Languages. Committee, Michelle Lowry, Chair, Cliff Ando, Shadi Bart-Zimmer. Patrick Francis Morrissey, Department of English Language and Literature. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Naive Modernism. Committee, Maud Elman, Chair, Mark Payne, Jennifer Scapatoni. Austin Michael O'Malley, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Degree conferred winter quarter 2017. Dissertation, Poetry and Pedagogy. The Homiletic Verse of Farid al-Din Attar. Committee, Franklin Lewis, Chair, Michael Sells, Thibaut Dubert. Daniel Coleman Phillips, Department of Art History. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Kazimir Malevich and Russian Modernism. Committee, Matthew Jesse Jackson, Chair, Robert Burt, Christine Mering. William Douglas Spica, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Literary Genre in Poetic Texts from the Dead Sea Scrolls. Committee, Dennis Pardee, Chair, Petra Goedegeburen, and Norman Golb. Antje Postema, Department of Slavic Languages and Literatures. Degree conferred Spring Quarter 2017. Dissertation, claimed experience, figuring trauma, narrating memory in wartime and post-war Bosnian fiction and film. Committee, Victor Friedman, Chair, Božena Shellcross, Angelina Ilieva. Anne Elizabeth Rebel, Department of East Asian Languages and Civilizations. Degree conferred Spring Quarter 2017. Dissertation, Theaters of Reform and Remediation, Shichu, Chinese opera, in the mid-20th century. Committee, Judith Zeitlin, Chair, Paola Iavini, and Christine Harris. Samuel Rowe, Department of English Language and Literature. Degree expected summer quarter 2017. Dissertation, Imaginary Ones, Desire, Villainy, and Capital in 18th Century Fiction. Committee, Timothy Campbell, Chair, Francis Ferguson, James Chandler. Narin Sarvetar, Department of Art History. Degree conferred Winter Quarter 2017. Dissertation, Seizing the Everyday, Lettres Film and the French Post-War Avant-Garde, 1946-1954. Committee, Christine Mering, Chair, Jennifer Wild, Matthew Jesse Jackson, Molly Warnock. Braxton Deontai Shelley, Department of Music. Degree conferred Spring Quarter 2017. Dissertation, Sermons and Song, Richard Smallwood, The Vamp and the Gospel Imagination. Committee, Stephen Rings, Chair, Lauren Zibikowski, Philip Ballman, Melvin Butler, Travis Jackson, Robert Kendrick. Suzanne Taylor, Department of English Language and Literature. Degree conferred Winter Quarter 2017. Dissertation, In and Out of Character, Moral Action in the 18th Century. Committee, James Chandler, Chair, Francis Ferguson, Heather Keenlyside. Monique Vincent, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Degree expected summer quarter 2017. Dissertation, Households, Communities and Dimensions of Social Identity in the Early Iron Age at Tel al-Umarai. Committee, David Schleun, Chair, Nadine Mueller, John Green. Zhengyu Wang, Department of Comparative Literature. Degree expected summer quarter 2017. Dissertation, Narratives of Enchantment, Reinventing Pu Songling's Classical Tales of the Strange at the Turn of the 20th Century. Committee, Hans Ossi, Chair, Judith Zeitlin, Paola Iavini. Lindsay Ray Marie Weglars, Department of Near Eastern Languages and Civilizations. Degree conferred Spring Quarter 2017. Dissertation, Continuity and Change, a re-evaluation of cultural identity and the Egyptianization in Lower Nubia during the New Kingdom. Committee, Nadine Mueller, Chair, Janet Johnson, Brian Muth. Ling Zhang, Department of Cinema and Media Studies. Degree conferred spring quarter 2017. Dissertation, Sound Images, Acoustic Culture, and Transmediality in the 1920s to 1940s Chinese Cinema. Committee, James Lastra, Chair, Tom Gunning, Daniel Morgan, Xingju Dong, Paola Iavini.
We have spent today celebrating you, the graduates of the Division of the Humanities. Completing a course of graduate studies is an accomplishment of which you should be proud. But we must recognize that this achievement is not yours alone. It belongs also to those who have supported you through the years. And so I invite all graduates to rise. Please turn around and acknowledge and thank your partners, parents, children, family, and friends. And now I ask you please to turn back toward the front and thank the faculty and staff of this great university. As you leave this, our 530th Convocation, some of you will continue your formal education here at the University of Chicago or elsewhere, while others will start new careers inside or outside the academy. We, your teachers and mentors, trust that you will pursue your goals and aspirations with ambition tempered by wisdom, with discernment sharpened by critical reasoning, and with dedication fortified by ideals. Good luck, and thank you.
This now concludes the Division of the Humanities graduation and hooding ceremony at the 530th Convocation of the University of Chicago. We thank you for bearing witness to today's ceremony, and we welcome you to continue the festivities back across the street in the courtyard of Eidenhuis Hall, just right across there, with a glass of champagne to celebrate all that you've accomplished. Congratulations.